The recent Spanish Grand Prix showcased the underwhelming performances of the rookie drivers. Despite high hopes, their results fell short of expectations. In this analysis, we examine the reasons behind their disappointing performances and explore the circumstances that have hindered their progress in the early stages of the 2023 Formula 1 season. Firstly, let's start off with the least disappointing, Oscar Piastri. Driving for McLaren, he emerged into the Formula 1 world with a name for himself, as his journey was backed by consecutive F3 and F2 championship victories, creating high expectations. However, McLaren's challenging circumstances have somewhat hindered his progression as they struggle to provide a fast and consistent car, negatively impacting his results. This led to somewhat of a disappointing start to his career so far. He sits in the standings with 5 points to his name, trailing behind his more experienced teammate, Lando Norris, by a margin of 7 points. Piastri currently sits 13th in the standings, a respectable position for a debut season considering the circumstances. So far, Norris has beaten him 6-1 in qualifying, but despite that, Piastri has a higher average qualifying gap of 0.05 of a second, with Piastri actually beating Norris. The big outlier was in Saudi Arabia, where while Norris qualified in 19th, being eliminated in Q1, Piastri made it into Q3, being over 1 second faster and qualifying 9th. If it wasn't for that, the gap would be 0.3 of a second in Norris's favor. In the races, Norris has beat him 5-2, with Piastri also outperforming him in the most recent race, in which he unfortunately finished 13th after initially being close to scoring points. He mentioned lacking the pace to make significant progress and attributed his poor first lap as a contributing factor. Despite McLaren's strong qualifying performance, he believed that it was difficult for the team to maintain such a high grid position, as the team's struggles seemed to stem from their car's tire behavior in different conditions. Nevertheless, he has shown glimpses of his potential, and as the season progresses, we may witness him unlocking his true abilities. On the other end of the spectrum, Nyck de Vries has faced significant challenges and emerged as the most disappointing rookie driver. After an impressive performance at last year's Italian Grand Prix, where he showcased his skills, expectations were high for the Dutch driver. Sadly, a mix of mistakes and a poor car crushed those expectations pretty quickly. Yuki Tsunoda, his teammate, is in need of redemption this season in order to maintain his seat, and in my opinion, he has already proven his worth. But de Vries, not so much, as he has been beaten in nearly every race of the season so far, with only one race where he did beat Tsunoda, although his teammate had huge brake problems when initially being in the points. Currently, the Dutch driver stands in the penultimate place in the standings, with 0 points alongside Logan Sargent, which I will talk about later. So far, Tsunoda has beaten him in qualifying and in the races by a considerable margin. Additionally, de Vries' string of retirements as a result of crashes has further hindered his progress and applied more pressure. Most notably, in Azerbaijan, he crashed both in qualifying and in the race in the same corner. While it is a difficult track, it shows his inability to find a good rhythm with the car. Also, the lack of consistency has been evident in his performances, with the rookie driver needing to regroup and find his footing in order to establish himself as a formidable competitor in the fiercely competitive field, because if not, there will be consequences. Red Bull is notable for being strict with their young talent, and this is no exception. Dr. Helmut Marko, a Red Bull official, had anticipated de Vries challenging Tsunoda, but that hasn't happened yet. However, he has shown improvement in Monaco and Spain, so while Marko had hinted that de Vries might be replaced as Formula 1 returned to Europe, it seems as they will retain him for a couple more weekends just to see how things play out. When asked about Marko's comments, de Vries mentioned that he hasn't been following the news and is focused on the present and his performance. So while a disappointing start to the season, he can still pick himself back up and start to put in good results week in and week out, and secure his spot amongst the top 20 best drivers in the world. Now moving up to Williams driver Logan Sargent, he occupies a unique yet still disappointing position among the rookies. With 0 points in last place in the standings, he faces immense pressure to perform, as he is also the only American driver on the grid. However, it is crucial to acknowledge the circumstances surrounding his debut season. Despite the lack of public expectations, he is still under a lot of pressure to perform, just as anyone would. Even though maybe not as much as the other teams, it's obviously still a lot. As a quick note, despite earning his super license, it is believed that Sargent is not ready for F1. Williams knew that, however, due to certain circumstances, he was given a seat. As a result, the current season standings should not be as a measure of his suitability for F1, or as a reason to criticize him. Yet, he is still under pressure to perform and needs to be on top of his game. It doesn't help that Sargent has a slow package. The team currently sits 10th in the constructor standings, and even Albon admitted that they were exposed later in the season for truly having the slowest cars. The Williams struggles with tires, both in qualifying and in the race, leading to poor performances, like how Logan Sargent has finished in the last place in the past 10 races. During the qualifying session in Saudi Arabia, Sargent set an impressive lap time in Q1, only for it to be disqualified due to a technicality. He later suffered a crash, abruptly ending his session. Nonetheless, this shows his potential, and if given time, he may further develop his skill to challenge his teammates and other midfield runners. As of right now, he has been beaten 5-2 by his teammate, but he still remains in close proximity to Alex Albon, who has only managed to secure a single point. We just have to hope Sargent's resilience and determination play a crucial role in his development as a rookie driver. We have to remember that as newcomers, these drivers face the challenges of adapting to the highly competitive nature of F1, learning to navigate the technical limits of their car and pass the steep learning curve that is Formula 1. The opening phases of the season provide an opportunity for them to gain valuable experience and showcase their abilities on a global stage, so there is still much we have not seen about them. This is especially true when they have slower and inconsistent cars, as it can be a burden for a rookie driver, as their true speed can't be fully captivated. But still, with impressive performances, they can make this up pretty quickly. This couldn't be proven better than with the rookie season of Alain Prost. The Frenchman had a tough start to his F1 career with McLaren in 1980, as he struggled to adapt to the car and scored just 1 point in his debut season. However, Prost's fortunes improved significantly in subsequent seasons, and he went on to become one of the most successful drivers in F1 history, winning 4 Drivers' Championships and claiming more than 50 wins. While I am not calling any of these rookies Alain Prost-level drivers, it does show as a testament that anything is possible, and not everyone is so good early on. Furthermore, the challenging nature of the street circuits encountered early in the season, such as Azerbaijan and Saudi Arabia, have added to the difficulties faced by the rookies. These circuits demand a high level of skill and precision, often catching even the most experienced drivers off guard. They obviously lack familiarity with these circuits, and this has undoubtedly affected their performance. While the recent races may have highlighted the disappointing performances of the rookie drivers, it is essential to view their progress within the broader context of their debut season. As the challenges are navigated, experience is gained, and opportunities arise. We may witness these rookies rise to the occasion and make their mark in the world of Formula 1. Only time will tell. Hope you enjoyed! I tried to cover more in detail why the rookies have not performed as expected. Leave me in the comments your thoughts! If you enjoyed this type of content, please like and subscribe. You can also watch this video on your screen right now, which talks about the tragic tale of the most talented Formula 1 driver. See you there!